Why is it so hard to start even when you want to? Your body locks up, your mind goes blank, minutes turn into hours. And this isn't laziness, it's your brain trying to protect you. If you freeze when it's time to work, study, clean, or start anything important, this video is for you. People often label this as laziness or poor time management, but it's deeper. It's an evolutionary survival mechanism gone haywire in modern life, where deadlines feel like predators. The freeze response comes from your nervous system. When your brain senses a threat you can't fight or escape, your body automatically shuts down. This dates back to our ancestors. Freezing helped avoid detection by predators. Today, your brain treats overwhelming tasks the same way, as threats to your well-being. The big, unclear, or important task can feel like a threat. Whether it's writing a report, hitting the gym, or even cleaning your room, if it's vague or high stakes, your brain amplifies it into something monstrous. When the task feels too big, your brain gets overwhelmed. It doesn't know where to start, so it stops. This leads to decision paralysis. With too many choices or undefined steps, your prefrontal cortex, the planning center, overloads and defaults to inaction. The amygdala, your brain's alarm system, takes over during overwhelm. It shuts down the logical part of your brain so you literally can't think clearly. Coined by Daniel Goleman, emotional hijacking happens when the amygdala floods your system with stress hormones like cortisol, bypassing rational thought in the prefrontal cortex. And starting a hard task gives almost no dopamine. Your brain avoids anything that feels low reward and runs toward easy dopamine. Dopamine drives habits. Immediate rewards like social media hits reinforce avoidance, while task rewards are delayed, making starting feel unrewarding. If it has to be perfect, your brain never feels ready. Perfectionism makes starting feel dangerous. Perfectionism often stems from childhood conditioning or cultural expectations, creates a fear loop where good enough isn't an option, paralyzing action. You're not avoiding the task, you're avoiding the feelings attached to it. These emotions, shame from past failures, fear of judgment, act like anchors. Your brain avoids them to maintain emotional equilibrium, even if it means stalling. Avoiding the task gives short-term relief, but it makes the task grow bigger over time. Think about it like this. You skip writing that email because it feels stressful. Scrolling on your phone brings instant calm, but later the guilt piles on, and now the task feels even scarier. This is avoidance coping. It reduces stress now, but builds it up later. This freeze can turn into what's called functional freeze mode, where you're going through the motions of daily life, but stuck on important tasks. It's often linked to anxiety or depression, making even simple decisions feel impossible. Your brain is in a protective shutdown to avoid more overwhelm. In some cases, like with ADHD, this is known as task paralysis, part of executive dysfunction. You know what needs doing, but your brain can't initiate. It's not laziness, it's a wiring issue, where overwhelm blocks the starting signal. Chronic freeze can lead to burnout, where prolonged stress depletes your resources. It's a cycle. Overwhelm causes freeze, freeze causes more stress, leading to total exhaustion. Here's the part people never learn. Your brain doesn't start based on willpower, it starts based on safety. You break the freeze by shrinking the task. Your brain can start tiny things. For example, instead of exercise for an hour, start with put on workout clothes. This micro commitment bypasses resistance. Set a 5-minute timer. Your brain rarely fights 5 minutes. Once you begin, momentum takes over. Science shows that initial resistance fades after a few minutes as endorphins kick in, turning inertia into flow. When the task feels safe instead of dangerous, your nervous system unlocks. Activating your vagus nerve through deep breathing shifts you from sympathetic, fight or freeze, to parasympathetic, rest or digest mode, promoting safety. The lower the pressure, the easier it is to start. Adopt a rough draft mindset. Remember, done is better than perfect. Iteration comes after action. Your brain works best when it feels calm, not judged. Curate cues like soft lighting or favorite music to signal safety to your brain, reducing environmental triggers for freeze. Naming the first step reduces amygdala activation. Clarity calms the brain. Use mind mapping or lists to visualize steps, turning abstract overwhelm into concrete actions. Pair the start with something enjoyable. Dopamine needs a reason to show up. Try the Pomodoro technique. Work for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. This builds in rewards and prevents burnout. It tricks your brain into sustained effort by promising rest soon. Use body doubling. Have someone nearby, even virtually, while you work. Their presence reduces the freeze by adding gentle accountability and making the environment feel less isolating. Apply the 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. This clears mental clutter and builds quick wins to combat paralysis. Identify your personal triggers, like sensory overload or fatigue, and address them first. A short walk or deep breathing can reset your nervous system before tackling the task. Prioritize just 1 to 3 tasks per day. Limit your focus to avoid overwhelm. Use a simple matrix, urgent versus important, and start with the easiest to build momentum. Incorporate mindfulness. A quick meditation can ground you, reducing amygdala activity and fostering a sense of safety. You don't force your brain to start, you work with it. When the first step is tiny, your brain switches from freeze to flow. Over time, these strategies build habits. Consistency rewires your brain, making starting easier. Remember, progress compounds. Small daily wins lead to lasting change. Track your wins in a journal. Seeing progress reinforces positive neural pathways, making future starts less daunting. You don't freeze because you're unmotivated. You freeze because your brain is overwhelmed and choosing protection over progress. When the task feels smaller and safer, your whole nervous system unlocks. Be kind to yourself. Start small and watch the freeze melt away. Try one tip today. What's your tiniest first step? Share in the comments. Join the conversation below. Share your free stories and breakthroughs. You're not alone in this.